The main topic on today's video is about rental properties, dealing with Section 8.
Once you've gone through a couple inspections, you kind of know everything they're looking for.
How are the Section 8 renters and dealing with, so after a tenant moves out, what's the average cost on getting the house back? How much money do you think you've made profit off of this property since you own it? What's going on, fam? It's your boy Al. Y'all tune back in with them Jennings boys, man, and we back with another video for y'all. Make sure y'all stop what y'all doing, hit that subscribe button, hit that post notification bell, man. Like this video, and we're gonna keep running these numbers on up, man. In today's video, we're gonna be bringing y'all another real estate video, man. Another video full of free game, showing y'all parts of the real estate business and how you can make money in a real estate business. The main topic on today's video is about rental properties, dealing with Section 8 and how you can make some residual income. So stay tuned. Okay, fam, so we here with the homeowner. She is the one that owns this property and manages this property. What can you tell us about this property here?
So this is a Section 8 rental. So a lot of people say, should I really get into Section 8 or should I just rent my properties out regular? I hear a lot of horror stories about Section 8. Well, you should really treat Section 8 like you do if you've invested in the stock market. Don't you diversify your stocks? So you should also diversify your rentals properties. You don't want to have all Section 8 and you don't want to have all regular pay. Because when times get bad, they get bad for everybody, and then everybody's not paying their rent. One thing about Section 8, it's government funded, so regardless of what's going on in the economy, you're going to get your check. So I just want to spend a little bit of time, because a lot of people are like, I don't want to deal with all the hassle. The number one thing people complain about is the inspection process. So the inspection process is an annual process. So it's worth going through this inspection once a year, because really, it's helping you keep your property up to par too, because one of the downfalls of most landlords or even property management companies, they don't continuously check on the properties. So there could be all kind of things going on with the property, you don't know about it, and the longer you let things go unattended, the more expensive it is to get those items fixed. So the annual inspection process really is a benefit for you. And really, to get, like you can see, this is about to get just past Section 8 inspection. And once you've gone through a couple inspections, you kind of know everything they're looking for, what to have in place. It's, either you put blinds in all your windows or don't put blinds up. And the blinds can't be torn and non-functioning. It's simple things like, they're like, oh, that's tedious, but make sure you got all your plates on your doors. Make sure that you have your door stopper in place so that the screen door won't fly open. You don't want that happening anyways, because then they're going to break your screen door. So again, these things that Section 8 are requiring are things that are going to keep your house up to par anyways. Make sure you got light bulbs and all your light fixtures. Make sure you have freshly painted walls.
Okay, so first question I got for you about the Section 8. How are the Section 8 renters and dealing with Section 8 renters? Are they messy? Are they dirty? Are they hard to deal with?
So that's a whole nother segment. We can have a whole nother conversation about how to pick the right Section 8 tenant. Because yes, there are some Section 8 tenants out there that will tell your properties are up. They're not clean. They they don't care about the property because at the end of the day, it's not their house. So they don't really have a sense of ownership for it. So there's tips and tricks on how to pick the right Section 8 tenant. And there's a lot of them out there, and all of them are not bad.
Okay. So, and then another question I have for you. Section 8 property, this is more like a inner city thing? Is it a suburb
They're
thing?
everywhere. Section 8 is everywhere.
Section 8 is everywhere.
Section 8 is everywhere.
So it doesn't have to just be inner city. It can
I've
be
got
anywhere.
Section 8, West Dayton, North Dayton, South Dayton.
Okay.
There's affordable housing everywhere. But the key is getting the proper, and Section 8 in other areas, because people are like, why would if I had a property in a suburb in a high-end area, why would I put it on Section 8? Section 8 pays premiums for those areas. So just because you have a 3-bedroom, 1-bath on one area of town and they're only paying $900 a month, that same property, if you pick it up and put it on the south side of town, they're paying an extra $400 or $500 a month. So they will pay, it's called rent reasonableness. So whatever the rent is in that area, that's what they pay.
Okay.
So another thing, like now, I don't put appliances in my properties anymore because that's one of the biggest calls you get from tenants. Oh, the refrigerator's leaking, the freezer went out, the stove, the lights on the stove aren't working correctly. This one already had appliances in it, so you just, if they're here, they're here. But that's one thing that they're stickler about. You got to make sure all of your components are in place, or you'll fail your inspection for a component not being in place on a.
Okay, so Section 8 doesn't require you to have the appliances in the home anymore.
No.
Is this like something new, or it's been like that?
No, it's always been that way.
So it's better.
But keep in mind, if you do have appliances, I just say buy brand new appliances. But they pay more towards the rent if you have appliances.
Okay, so there's positives and negatives. They may pay more for the rent. It's just you have to maintain the appliance, as opposed to if you have no appliances, you don't have to worry about any appliances breaking. You're not reliable for the appliances if they're not rented out with the appliances.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And just things like if you got a property that has a attached garage, you got to make sure you have carbon monoxide detectors in the property because of the fumes from the vehicles. You can't have a smoke detector. You see the smoke detector sitting here on the counter. You can't have a smoke detector in the kitchen because it's going to always go off because people are cooking and it's going to always cause it to go off. So that they don't want you to have the smoke detectors in the kitchen.
Okay.
Got to make sure all your outlets are properly grounded and working. That's a huge thing. You also have to have a carbon monoxide detector in the house now. And they make you put a smoke detector in every bedroom now. That's a new requirement.
Okay, so you have to have one in every bedroom.
Every bedroom.
So one thing I noticed about this property is you have hardwood floors here everywhere besides the bedrooms. You have carpet in the bedrooms. Is there a specific reason why you don't have carpet throughout the whole house, or?
So there was carpet actually in here, but when the last tenant moved out, we removed it because it's more durable. And this is the plank flooring. This is vinyl plank.
So this is more durable than the carpet?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this probably lasts much longer than carpet does.
Much longer. And you put it in your high traffic areas, so living rooms, hallways. In the bedroom, now it's a little more expensive, but it's worth paying more up front because it's going to last much longer. Because you could run into a situation, just depending on how high your turnover rate is on your property. Every time someone moves out, you got to replace the carpet.
So that's like once a year, because most leases for Section 8 is a year?
Most leases are 1 year, but again, if you pick the right tenants, like the individual that lived here, she lived here 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So you got to know how to pick the right people.
So you've had this property for a long time then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So always go with dark color carpet as well. And you want to keep carpet in the bedrooms because people want carpet in their bedrooms. It keeps the rooms warmer and it's just more comfortable to have carpet in the bedroom. And it's cheaper to install carpet versus the flooring. And people typically, the carpet in the bedroom areas typically don't get that dirty.
Okay, that leads
Think
me.
about it, you got all your furniture in here, so it's not a lot of exposed carpet.
Right. That leads me to my next question. Well, talking about the carpet, what is your policy for pets? I know carpet and pets really don't go together. I know pets leave a lot of odor on carpets. And do you allow pets in your properties?
I do not allow pets in my properties, but I can tell you probably 30% of my properties right now have. If I go over there right now, it's a damn pet over there.
Okay.
So what you have to do is, once you go over there, and that's another thing about the inspections, you go over there and be like, oh wow, when did you get this pet? When you find out they have a pet, tell them you either have to pay a pet deposit and a monthly pet fee, or the pet has to go.
Okay. Because pets will give wear and tear on your house.
And they put a smell in there, especially if the tenant is not that tidy.
Right.
It is very hard to get rid of.
Okay. Because
typically, if you have a pet and there's carpet, you have to pull up the carpet, the padding. You have to scrub the floors before you can put the carpet back in.
Because I feel like this tenant here did not have a pet. From when I walk in, the odor, I don't smell any odors here or anything. So you said this lady was here for 10 years. That leads me to my next question.
Wait, let me, I do have to tell a story. She did have a cat.
Okay.
And it was okay for her to have a cat because they tore a house. It was an abandoned house across the street. When they tore it down, there were mice in the property, and the mice came, and of course they go to the next house that's available. And so we had an issue with the mice. So she felt, we got them exterminated and everything, but she just felt more comfortable with this cat. So I let her get the cat.
Okay, I see. So let's move on through the house. But I got another question for you. So you said she was here for 10 years, right? So anyone that's looking to get in this real estate and they're looking to do rental properties, so after a tenant moves out, what's the average cost on getting the house back to be able to rent it out? Like,
it depends. I mean, a lot of times be prepared to do a whole rehab on the property, especially when they've been here a long time. So this one really wasn't that bad. We put new flooring, new paint, put a new vanity in the bathroom, and that was pretty much it.
So this tenant here was pretty much a good tenant. Okay. And did she move to one of your other properties, or
Yes,
is this?
She's in another property, so she upgraded to a 4-bedroom.
Okay. So you kept this tenant.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So one thing to also keep in mind, when you have your annual inspection, that's also your opportunity to increase your rent. So every year you have the opportunity to increase your rent. So evaluate what the rents are in your area and increase your rent to meet the area. That's one of the biggest downfall. I've even done it myself where I didn't, I've got a long-term tenant, glad that they're there, and don't increase the rents. And then you find yourself, your rent is $400 or $500 cheaper than your neighbors. So you got to make sure that you stay on top of your rent increases.
Okay. Is there like any certain amount you're allowed to increase it, or just whatever they accept?
So Section 8 is county specific. So in Montgomery County, you are only allowed to increase your rent $100.
Okay, so every annual you can increase around $100.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Also, one of the, people always ask me, why do you do single family homes instead of multi-units? There's a whole lot of pros about multi-units, but there's a whole bunch of cons. But one of the pros is that the tenants are responsible for all their lawn care. Now, if you have a Section 8 tenant, the fence line, if you have things growing on the fence line, the owner is responsible for the fence line. But all other exterior maintenance, the tenant is responsible for it.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about doing the lawn mowing or anything like that. Snow removal, okay.
Yep.
That's good to know. Alright, fam, so I got a few more questions for her before we wrap this video up. So, you said you had that house for 10 years or longer, correct? Let's just say 10 years. It sounds like you don't remember how long you owned it for.
It's been more than 10 years.
More than 10 years.
Yeah.
So over this entire 10 years or whatever year, however many years you've had it, how much money do you think you've made profit off of this property since you owned it?
So the property, It paid for itself within 7 years.
So within 7 years, it paid itself off.
Yep, it paid itself off.
Did you have to put any money down when you got it? Was it you get a loan for this property? How did you acquire this property?
See, I started off as a flipper. So I bought houses, rehabbed them, took my profit from the flips to buy rental properties.
Okay.
But then, that money only gets you so far. So then I pulled equity out of the rental properties to acquire more properties. So I buy a property with the equity line, let it pay for itself, then pull more equity out. And the more properties you have, the larger of an equity line you have.
Okay. So you basically purchased this property and took an equity line out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said an equity line you took out on it, you end up paying that off within 7 years.
Yes.
So after 7 years of purchasing this property, it paid itself off, and now it's just all profit that you're getting from this property.
Yep.
All residual income, all passive income, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you hear that, you guys? You can purchase a home. The real estate market is a lot different from 10, 15 years ago. So the numbers are, of course, going to be different now. And the market's different now. But
much different.
Just to give you an idea, she purchased this property. Within 7 years, it paid itself off, and now it's just passive income for her now. And she doesn't really have to do much but maintain the property, and she's getting paid for it. So, all of you guys that's looking to get into the real estate game, or looking for passive income, looking to get away from y'all 9-to-5 jobs and slaving for someone else, making someone else money, this is definitely a good field to get into the real estate. That's one of the biggest markets for entrepreneurs. Every entrepreneur I know is in real estate somehow, some way. Because
real estate is the key to financial freedom. Like, people are like, oh, that's just a buzzword. No, it's reality. Because real estate is not going anywhere. It's not a phase. It's not. Someone's gonna always have to have a place to live.
Correct. And your money is no good sitting in the bank, you guys. If you've made money and you don't know what to do with it, real estate is the perfect market to invest your money in.
And it's much safer than investing in the stock market, unless you are a whiz at the stock market and know all the hot stocks to invest in.
And that's usually no one.
Real estate is one of the safest, and I won't say easy, but it's the safest and most reliable source of income.
Because the real estate market continues to go up. Even it has its ups and its downs. Even if the market was to crash, it's eventually always going to go back up, and you will eventually go back up to get whatever your house is worth, and it's going to eventually go above and beyond that. So real estate is
even when it goes down, though. With real estate, when real estate goes down, people still have to have a place to live. So guess what? That's not a time to necessarily do a flip. That's a time when you have rental properties and you make your money off the rentals.
Correct. So yeah, it's safer to keep your money in real estate than it is to keep your money sitting in a bank. Because the bank as you can see, the one bank crashed this year, and I can only imagine the amounts of money that people lost from having money sitting in that bank, opposed to they would have had that money invested in some sort of real estate, because people can't take your real estate away from you. So keep that in mind, you guys. We're gonna wrap this video up here. If y'all got any questions, go in the comments. Like I said, like this video, go subscribe, hit that post notification bell. We're gonna keep running these numbers on up, man.